Welcome back. All right, so some more news of the day for you today. Evander Kane, the NHL has suspended him 21 games. So I didn't report on it because there was some speculation about what was going on, what might happen. So now that it's come down, I'll report on it. He's been suspended 21 games without pay for violating COVID protocol. And so they've proven that he violated it. Now, what was being rumored was that he had a faked vaccination card. And so however they found out, whether it was a teammate, whether it was somebody on the team itself, or there's ways to find out. It is an issue if that is what this is, but 21 games for that violation. So that's about a quarter of the season, and that's without pay. So that's a move that costs him well over $1 million in his pay this year. The other thing that was announced by the NHL in this as well is that his ex-wife's claims couldn't be substantiated to a level where they tack anything on from that. The 21 games is what he gets for the violation of the protocols. And again, the NHL, it's harsh, but the NHL has these protocols, and the players knew. The players knew what the violations could lead to, and here we are. So, and it's worthy of note too that Kane's the only one that we've seen this happen with. So yeah, he's gone for the next. I would think it's 21 games from now. How does that work? Because basically he's been out. So do the games that he already hasn't played, do those count towards the suspension? So we'll see. And then of course the question becomes one of, will the San Jose Sharks embrace him when that 21 games is done? Do they tell him? Do they tell him to stay home, stay away? What happens with Evander Kane from here? So the story that never quite ends, it hasn't ended yet for Evander Kane. Speaking of which, in Vancouver, this is a tale that keeps going too. Travis Hamonic is on a leave of absence. So he is officially on leave, which if you're saying, wait, I thought he was already on a leave of absence. Yep. So they're not saying why. They're saying respect his privacy, all these other wonderful things. I know there's speculation that's out there. It is only speculation. So for Hamonic, who's got a young family, he's taking his time, thinking things over. And so that does, I would think, free up the Canucks. Like, I guess if he's suspended, the whole cap hit comes off, maybe? Or, anyways, so the whole Hamonic thing being as it is, we'll see if the Canucks make any moves on their blue line. I really think the Canucks need another defenseman. Kyle Burroughs has played relatively well when they've had him in the lineup because he, I think, is the one that would have been number 7. But they definitely need some help on the back end there. At least till Hamonic comes back, or maybe he doesn't play this year. We'll see, right? Speaking of not having played yet this season, Brock Besser, who has been out since his first couple of preseason games, he may play tomorrow, so he's getting close. He's close enough that that's a conversation to be had about whether or not he's going to play tomorrow in Buffalo. But I don't think they'll rush him back. With the injury history for Besser being as it is, you want to make sure he is absolutely good to go. You don't want to risk anything further going on with Brock Besser. You want him to come back when he's as close to 100% as possible. Speaking of injuries, Max Domi is going to be out for the next 2 to 4 weeks for the Columbus Blue Jackets with a rib fracture. So Domi, who's gotten off to a good start this season, and he's looked good, and now he's out for the next 2 to 4 weeks with a rib fracture. So some bad luck for Domi along the way. Hopefully once he comes back and he's healthy again, hopefully he goes on a nice run here. Because again, he was playing well for Columbus their first couple games of the year. The 3 stars this week for the National Hockey League, Anze Kopitar, rated number 1. I can't argue with that. He had a fantastic first game. Alex Ovechkin, who of course passed Marcel Dion this week, and Steven Stamkos. Tampa's scored a whole bunch of points, whole bunch of goals, and Steven Stamkos has definitely been a part of that. So, yeah, interesting to see 3 names here that are kind of among the older names in the NHL, right? Even Stamkos at this point has to be considered a little bit older by NHL standards. The average age is what, 26? Yeah, so there you go. Semyon Varlamov at practice for the New York Islanders, who I think their average age is about 40. But yeah, he won't play tomorrow. Barry Trotz said he won't play tomorrow in Chicago. And so, yeah, things for Varlamov and the Islanders still kind of in limbo. We'll see what happens with him when he comes back. You would think that if Sorokin's numbers continue to be kind of bad, do you consider putting in Corey Schneider? Like, I don't think that's going to happen, But we'll see when Varlamov comes back and whether or not Schneider gets any time before he does come back. And they put Leo Komarov on waivers. Komarov was on waivers last year. It's at least twice that Komarov was on waivers. With his contract being as it is, there's no doubt he's going to clear waivers. We'll see if they actually send him down to Bridgeport or if they just waive him and keep him around the team kind of thing. But yeah, so Komarov, he got waived, like I said, a couple times last year. That was, I believe, to go to the taxi squad. But I don't think there's any danger of anybody picking him up. That contract's a little bit rich for what Komarov does at this stage of his career. Injury news as well out of Pittsburgh. Crosby's close, but they've ruled him out tomorrow against Dallas. So for the Dallas Stars, that's good news. But the thing is, Pittsburgh's still playing pretty well without him. So Crosby is close, but with the fact that Pittsburgh's record is respectable, there's no rush, right? Still early in the season. They're playing well. And so for Crosby, I would think, again, wait till they're 100% and then bring him back. And out of Montreal land today, Belzile's been waived because Hoffman should be in the lineup tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. So Belzile's the guy who they end up waiving to go down to Laval. I'd be very surprised if he gets claimed either. But that's good news for Montreal that he's on waivers because, yes, it does mean that Hoffman should be back. And that should help the attack that's been kind of a pop gun attack so far. There really hasn't been a lot of teeth to that attack for Montreal. So getting Hoffman out there on the power play, we know he can score goals. We can debate about the rest of his game. But what Montreal really needs right now is goals. 3 goals in 3 games tells you a lot. And maybe adding Hoffman gets other guys going too. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.